In today's video, I'm going to be taking you through the Reality Transurfing Goal Achievement Process in the simplest way possible. Okay, we're going to be talking about what it is that actually holds you back from creating what you want and how to go about this process in a really simple way through reality transurfing principles. I'm going to be breaking it down into 5 very simple steps that you can implement right away in order to start manifesting this change. If you are new to this channel, make sure to hit subscribe and the notification bell so you get notified every single time I put out a new reality transurfing video. And lastly, before we get into the content of this video, I am giving away my reality transurfing cheat sheet right now. It's from my paid reality transurfing course, but I'm giving away the cheat sheet for free. If you want to enter to win that, make sure all you have to do is simply to like this video and comment down below the phrase I am. I select a few winners every single week, so it may or may not be you. Enter down below. So what is it that actually holds you back from creating what you want, right? In reality transurfing, we learned that the 2 things that greatly hold us back is number 1, inner importance, and number 2, outer importance. Inner importance is all about that doubt, that lack of self-belief that you are capable and worthy of achieving what you want and of creating what you want. And outer importance is all about putting what you want on a pedestal, looking at it like as some crazy, amazing accomplishment that is way outside of your reach. So they go hand in hand, but these are the 2 things that keep your manifestation outside of your life. Why? Because your worldview and your self-image are quite literally the mold which constitute your physical experience. So whatever you do not consider possible for yourself, whatever you do not consider possible to manifest in your life, can quite literally never happen for you. So oftentimes we work so hard on the external, but the things we want still don't happen because our worldview just will not allow them. It will not allow the possibility of our desire taking place. Again, your belief system, your worldview, and your self-image hold your physical world together. Your physical world is an extension of your belief system. So the changes we want to make with reality transurfing are we want to feel worthy of our goal. Not just feel worthy, but feel almost like it's the natural next step for us to create, right? It's very, very natural. I am worthy. I am here. I am a chooser of my experience. And second, the shift that we want to make is in the world, the worldview that we have about our world, where we're not restricting our flow by having all of these rigid definitions and beliefs about how things that we want can come about. And we're not always limiting and restricting the possibility, the infinite possibility of this present moment into just a few little things, few little possibilities that our mind can come up with in this now. Okay, so that is a shift that we want to make with reality transurfing. So let's talk about now the 5 steps that you need to implement in order to really go about this process in a very simple manner, but in a way that's going to constantly rewire your self-image and your worldview. Okay, and it's going to continuously allow you to manifest your goal little by little until you are truly living in that desired reality. So now let's get into what you need to implement in order to start creating this change, right? In order to really rewire your worldview and your self-image and to start consistently manifesting your desired reality at a consistent pace. And I want to read you first some quotes from the Big Reality Transurfing book, and then I'm going to boil it down into steps that you can use and implement right away, okay? So let's begin with this. Vadim says, the main thing that is holding you back, right, is that doubt, right? It's that constant doubting that if you're going to have it. Are you worthy? Are you capable? Is this possible for you? Inner and outer importance. So he says, do not think about the means. Run the target slide in your mind and place one foot in front of the other in the direction of your goal. Make it a concrete task to consciously and deliberately reattune your energy towards realizing your best expectations. Brush faith aside and live out the slide that pictures your life as it would be if the goal were already achieved. So this is a little adjustment you have to make again and again and again. And see, the reason that so much doubt comes up, so much fear comes up often on the process is because we're constantly thinking about, man, how am I going to achieve this? My current situation looks like this. I don't see any way out of here. So how is it possibly going to happen for me? And because we stay completely hooked in the box, we have a complete, like, it's impossible for us to consider what's possible outside of the box. And the box is your worldview of what you currently perceive. So Vadim is saying, completely ditch that entire need to think of the means. What you need to start doing is you need to start running the target slide of your goal in your mind again and again and again, which basically means visualizing the process. And if you don't know how to visualize, right, how to even you do the reality transurfing visualization, make sure to watch this video. I'm going to link it up here where I teach you how the visualization process really goes and how to really properly implement it. But running the target slide is really about visualizing yourself in that desired reality, already living it, really adding details to it and imagining yourself already living that as your normal life, everyday life. And what that does is it reattunes your energy. The energy that you're radiating right now is reattuned to your desired lifeline now, which literally changes the flow of your life events towards that visualization that you just did, towards that imagination. So it's very, very important. And by reattuning your energy to that desired life, now the means that you need in order to, in a physical, practical level, make that life happen, they can actually come into your world. Before, when you were just fully here and just like trying to figure it out, how to make your goal happen, right? Thinking of the means from this perspective, nothing was available to you. No means, no possibilities, because it's quite literally impossible. You're looking through the perspective of your current self. But now when you take a step back, you tune out your current world and you place your awareness in the version of you who is already living that life as a very, very normal life, nothing crazy or nothing out of my reach, just a very normal life. And you kind of get familiar with it. The more familiar you get with it, the more time you spend with it, the more normal it will start to seem to you. And when it seems to start seeming normal, by running that target slide again and again, now, through that perspective, naturally, your world, everything that you see in the bubble of your manifestation, will start to shift little by little to correspond to that desired life. And the means that you need on a physical, practical level to make that life happen will start to flow in. Opportunities, things, people, whatever you need. I've experienced this firsthand in my life. It is the only way that I've gotten to where I am today. And this is something that you need to start practicing, because once you gain this proof experientially in your life, you will understand it. The mind may right now not be able to understand how it works, but once you see it, right, only through practice will you gain this experience and this true knowledge. Okay, so that's why Vadim says, let go of the need to think about the means. Simply run the target slide again and again in your mind and stay consistent with it. But along with it, you have to, on the external, continue to place one foot in front of the other in the direction of your goal, which is a very, very important part of reality transurfing. So in reality transurfing, we're not just doing the inner work, right, about like the worldview and the self-image and just our belief system in general. We're not just doing the inner work. We're also doing the external work. We're being willing to do whatever it takes. Not saying that we have to effort 24/7, but we are willing to do so if it is required. It is that willingness that brings flow. Whereas it is the lack of willingness and that just staying stuck in stagnation and not doing nothing and playing victim of life, in that energy, there is no flow. So internally, we're doing the work and we're retuning our energy. However, externally, we're keeping this flow going by just taking whatever steps that we can take towards our desired life, towards that goal on a daily basis. And we're staying consistent with it in the face of all adversity. It's very, very important. So Vadim says, make it a concrete task to consciously and deliberately do this again and again, right? Throughout the day, you so many times think of, oh man, how am I going to achieve this? Or if I'm ever going to achieve this, am I worthy? Now you have to wake up. If you hope to take control of this process, you have to learn to wake up and catch yourself when you think those thoughts, and instead reattune your energy, reattune your focus towards realizing your best expectations. It takes the same level of energy to think about what you might lose or how you might not ever achieve what you want, and how you may achieve even more than what you desire right now. How life may take a beautiful, amazing turn that you can't even expect. It takes the same energy to think those two thoughts. However, the energy you radiate while thinking those two thoughts is very, very different and leads to a very, very different future. Unfoldment of events. So which one will you choose? Because you will always get what you choose. So you have to learn to stop living on automatic and make this process conscious by again and again reattuning, by again and again readjusting your focus. So I'm going to read you a few more lines from the book, from Vadim, on this subject, and then we'll get into the 5 very, very simple steps that you can start implementing this with, okay, in a very practical way. And also, I'm going to type out the 5 steps and make a checklist for you, so that you can, always have it. You could even print it out. I'm going to make that available in my Facebook group, in the Personal Mastery Quest support group on Facebook. The link to join it will be in the description box below and the first comment of this video. So after this video, if you do want that checklist with all the steps written down, then simply just join the group. I'll approve you and you could have the checklist. You can simply download it right after. Okay, so let's get into what Vadim has to say about this. Vadim says, I have already explained that when a person attunes the energy that they radiate to their target lifeline, they activate the workings of outer intention. You turn the target slide around in your mind and practice visualizing the process. While you are busy with these exercises, the wind of outer intention slowly and surely pushes the frigate of material realization of your world through the alternative space. Opportunities begin to arise in ways you could never have expected. Moreover, outer intention begins to direct your actions in a way that brings you closer to your goal. Always remember that the mind is incapable of anticipating all the moves that lie ahead, and so cannot possibly know how to realize the goal. So that's why you should never think about the means. Leave the matter of the means and ways to outer intention. Simply keep running the target slide in your mind. Trust the flow of your life, what he calls the alternatives flow. And he says, you will act in a way that brings you to your goal irrespective of your own will. So by just doing this inner work, by attuning your energy to your desired lifeline, irrespective of your own personal will, outer intention will construct the moves of the universe and yourself, who you consider yourself to be this person, in a way which actually brings about the realization of your goal, little by little, little by little. How beautiful is that? So it's a very, very beautiful process. It's very, very simple. And it will really serve you to keep it simple rather than complicating it with all your mind stuff. Try it out for yourself and see how it goes. How? Let's talk about the 5 steps now. Step number 1 is reminding yourself to not think about the means. Okay, I know we said that multiple times in this video, but it's a reminder to you because your mind will still go there. Do not think about the means. Simply run the target slide again and again in your mind. And again, if you want to know how to run the target slide and how to visualize this process, make sure to watch my videos. It was linked up here in the iCard on how to visualize properly. Okay, which brings us to number 2. Instead of staying stagnant in one place, take consistent action towards your goal, whatever it may be, whatever you can fathom, whatever you can like currently think of, something that will move you closer towards your goal. Do that daily. Now, number 3, repeatedly reattune your energy and your focus towards realizing your best expectations. Do this at least 5 times a day. And I'm being very, very liberal. I would like you to do it 10 times a day. However, start with 5. Throughout the day, catch yourself thinking, right? Especially if you're thinking some sort of fearful or negative thought, or thinking about trying to figure out how to make your goal happen. Acknowledge it, disengage, and think instead about what it is that you do want already being achieved. So here's the thing. You're also not just thinking about, oh, I want this, I want that. You are thinking about it already having achieved. So let's just say your random goal, like, oh, I want a Ferrari. Don't think about a Ferrari. Don't think about wanting a Ferrari. Simply think about you living the life in which the Ferrari is already a very, very normal part of your existence. Okay? And if that's truly your desire, right? Think about that. However, this is all customizable to you. So if you want to be a doctor, or you want to, pass an exam or something, think about it if that was already the case again and again. Think about the thoughts of how amazing was it like that happened, or how funny is it how that it came about in such a simple way. Have those thoughts that you would be having if this was already the case. This brings us to number 4. Trust the flow of your life. Simply keep taking one step in front of the other. Okay, this is very, very important. That when you're in this way, living in this way of not figuring out every aspect of your existence, you're gonna have to give the responsibility to life to figure that out for you, and you will see that it ultimately does a much better job than you were doing previously. So allow the wisdom of uncertainty to unfold to you your greatest potential. Allow life to show to you how much better this existence is when you are not taking the responsibility of figuring out how everything has to be, and you're not trying to constantly obsess over perfecting everything in your life. And lastly, this brings us to number 5. Instead of always pondering, man, am I going to succeed or am I going to fail? Am I actually worthy of achieving all of this? Ask yourself this instead, right? First, remind yourself that success is a matter of choice. Failure is also a matter of choice. A choice that you may make unconsciously, but it is choice. Because in this life, you get what you choose. So what are you going to choose? Success or failure? Instead of pondering those thoughts of, will I succeed? Ponder the thoughts of, if this is my choice, what do I choose? Success or failure? And that will always reframe it in such a way for you that will actually put the power in your hands. It will empower you rather than you always looking at life like it is outside of your power. So again, if you want all of those steps written out step by step, and you want to download that checklist that I'm going to make and put in my Facebook group, make sure to join the group. It'll be in the description box below, and the checklist will be at the top of the Facebook group. But other than that, I really hope you found this video helpful. If you want my personal help to shift to higher consciousness and create a life of peace, joy, and freedom, make sure to check out my accelerated reality program down below, in which I really help you through this process step by step and really help you create the life you truly want to live. Okay, book your free consult down below. But other than that, that's all for today. Again, subscribe to this channel if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next video.